I'll have to talk to the admins about this. Seagull, how do you think you guys are going to do?
I'm more worried about street hoops.
You're more worried about street hoops.
They're going to come in, they're going to get hot, they're going to roll salt.
And you think, who do you think is the go-to player on street hoops over there?
Ash and Duwatna.
Ash and Duwatna. Duwatna's been going...
Seagull had his first claim to fame in Half-Life 2 Deathmatch as one of the scene's top players. In the Season 3 finals of the Cyber Athlete Amateur League, he beat Luke GT421 by a score of 28-25, and that match has since been regarded as one of the most entertaining matches of the game's history. When I first got into TF2, Seagull was known for playing Pocket Soldier for the Experiment and Fully Torqued, before joining Classic Mix-Up as their demo for Season 14. In Season 15, he began his stint as roamer for Mix-Up, and went on to establish himself as one of the greatest roamers to play the game. He was known for his high impact plays, and at times he was called the hard carry of Mix-Up, despite playing roamer, which is traditionally a low impact role. Out of the high level competitive players, he was one of the best at rocket jumping, and jump maps were something that he put a lot of time into. His number one tip for roamers was to practice jump maps, and he said that over anything else, jump maps made the biggest improvement to his game. Because it made pogos easier and because it provided new spam angles, Seagull used the original over the stock rocket launcher. He was also the first player to use the loose cannon at a high level, and was a proponent of reducing restrictions on weapon unlocks as well as class limits. He enjoyed theory crafting and thinking in depth about the game, and I believe that contributes to his success in Overwatch. His success in TF2, however, I attribute to a few characteristics of his play, and that's what I'm going to talk about. For these clips, I'm going to try to understand why he played how he did in these situations, and how that demonstrates something about either his mechanics or his decision making. You can then watch them at full speed to get an idea of what his thought process is like in-game. The first thing I'm going to talk about is Seagull's timing. He was a very patient player, and he was good at waiting for opportunities before committing his life to them. In this clip, he bombs the high ground at the start of the mid-fight to gain an advantageous position, and rather than committing straight away, he reloads his rockets, and as the scout backs up because he doesn't want to contest him on the high ground, he sees the opportunity to go for the med and demo that are isolated on the point. He jumps in, doing damage and staying alive, and Mix-Up follow up and win the mid-fight. In this clip, Mix-Up get a pick as they're holding last. Seagull's starting to look for a counter sack, so he starts to push out to bottom left. As he walks out into trash, he's calm and steadily advances while he realises that no one's looking at him. He finds himself in front of the medic and seizes the opportunity. Here, Mix-Up have just failed to push onto second, and Seagull finds himself unspotted in a position ready to flank. I'll let you watch how it plays out.
Alert! The control point is being captured.
Another aspect of his play was that he was good at applying his jump mechanics to distract well for his team. To initiate, he would often jump in and continue getting people to look at him while jumping around, barely shooting any rockets for damage at all. After jumping behind on the mid-fight, it requires 2 of the players on Street Hoops to kill Seagull. After getting the kill, Ash and Deadbolt, who's behind the wall over here, are on the low ground in front of the point. As Seagull jump behind, Mix-Up are pushing across the point and can now capitalise on the advantageous position that they have over the 20B players, allowing them to win the mid-fight. In this clip, Mix-Up are pushing the point with uber advantage, and Seagull gets an entry pick. He decides to go behind them to look for an opportunity to flank, and he tries not to be spotted by any of Froyo deck. When he runs into them, rather than fighting them, he opts to jump away and continue to distract. As he tends to do, he's waiting for the opportunity when none of the Froyo tech players are giving him attention, which he would then use to exploit. In this case, he ends up going back to the fight and trading with Blaze. Seagull was also very good at being patient with his rockets. He would often go for high damage rockets that were carefully placed, rather than shooting as soon as he could. This is a key aspect of his play that showed the discipline that he had that a lot of other roamers didn't. Here, Seagull is bombing Cozen from behind. He lands a decent damage initial rocket which Cozen surfs quite high into the air, but rather than going for a low percentage air shot, he waits for Cozen to land and attempts to line up the shot on the ground. It doesn't go according to plan, but he ends up getting the trade kill on Cozen anyway. Here we see Seagull bombing in on Granary and he ends up in an exchange with Lansky. He recognises that his first opportunity to shoot a rocket is very low percentage, as him and Lansky are both travelling through the air. He waits till Lansky starts to move in a more predictable manner, and he lines up the rocket for 100 damage. In this case it doesn't amount to anything, but it's a good example of how he applies his mechanics. Here are another two clips in which he lines up high damage rockets, which are essential to secure the kills that may not otherwise be possible. Another interesting aspect of Seagull's play is how he plays against scouts. Unless his team requires him to initiate, he's never going to bomb into scouts that are looking at him. When he gets the opportunity to bomb scouts that aren't looking at him, he seizes them to great effect. Here he is rolling out to meet his team on second when Clockwork comes to greet him. His first reaction, because Clockwork is moving in a predictable way, is to place one reliable rocket, and then he waits for Clockwork to move predictably so that he can place another reliable damage rocket. This chuggles Clockwork into the air, and that, along with the health pack, buys Seagull enough time to jump away to safety rather than committing to a 1v1 against a scout. He then expects Clockwork to chase, and just places the rocket where it needs to go, timed to perfection. Here, Mix-Up are pushing out of last, and as Seagull moves to roll out, he sees Banny looking the other way, heading towards PC. He sees this opportunity to bomb behind Banny, and ends up only needing one direct to secure the frag. To summarise his playstyle, I think mechanically he doesn't really have that great aim, but he's very patient with his rockets, and he's very capable and consistent with his jumping. In terms of decision making, he doesn't like to fight scouts directly, but if he can catch them by surprise, he will take his chances. We all know how easy it can be to deny a roamer that's jumping into your whole team, so when Seagull's being watched he just plays for spam, but when people aren't giving him attention, he times his bombs so that he can maximise his impact. As a word of caution, I'd advise against trying to replicate his playstyle too thoroughly, but I have left some learning resources in the description if you want to find out more about how he played roamer or Seagull himself. And please leave any feedback, I'd like to continue making these videos and improving them, but yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah. Alright then, so to close this out, yesterday I asked you a question but we never got the answer. Kill one, marry one, fuck one, fight one, and go into business with the final one, the rest of Mix-Up.
Oh my god, alright. So we got fuck, kill, marry, business,
Fight. And fight.
fight. I would fight Squid, go into business with Enigma, fuck TLR, marry Harblue.
Marry her?
Just as a joke. Actually, those two should be switched.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that's a joke you're gonna have to live with for a while.
Yeah, that is true.
Alright then. Do you have any...
Last one.
What did you say? Fight Squid?
Oh, kill off. Who's the
Yeah.
last person?
Enigma, I guess, I think was left, right?
No.
Oh? Oh god.
Who's it then? Who am I missing? Oh, Platinum.
Platinum.
Dead.
Oh, Platinum's dead. I think
he's,
Europe...
He's pretty much dead. He's not here.
Yeah, Europe would appreciate that. There's no love for Platinum in Europe. Europe land.
I really hope he gets here.
He probably will.
I mean, he will get here, but I really hope he
In
gets
time. Yeah. Alright, cool. Thanks for the interview. Later.
for the improvised interview.
Yeah, and the sick DM. I've missed all your good shots. I've just like watched you when you're spamming.